Every time I come to Beer India, I level up. I get better, a lot better as a pilot, and that's just been a joy. I just love beer. I mean, it's really awesome to go to northern India and be in the foothills of the Himalayas, where it's kind of like the perfect time and place to fly. You feel the wind, you pull the glider up, and you can feel it starting to tug on you and carry your weight, and you're ready and everything's go, and so you're just launching yourself into space. It's pretty magical, really. You know, it's just amazing to be flying, and there's always these fantastic views, and always looking at the ground like you're looking out the window of an airplane. And not only is like these sharp-edged mountains with sheep and shepherds all over them that you're looking at, and waterfalls, and behind the front hills that I've just been describing, there's rocky cliffs of the Dholadars, and then behind that are the Himalayas, like the far western Himalayas. There was a couple of days in a row that were super cool, and unfortunately caused by a problem. One of the other guys on the tour got injured, and then it was clear that the guides were going to be busy the rest of the day. And so I was like on my own, and I decided to go to a place I hadn't gotten all the way to the other day and trust some guidance that I got, that indeed that the mechanical lift was going to be enough to get there and back. So I took this long trek out to the east to the end called 360 and turned around there, and you have to go by another place called Train Station with a lot of wires near it. You know, you don't really want to stay low when you're near wires, and so it was an achievement for me to get there, for me to do it by myself, and that was pretty cool. I mean, the physics of it are super cool too. In a way, you're thinking about physics all the time. Can I make it to that spot where I hope to land, or to get over that ridge? Or if I get in closer to the ridge, will the wind that's hitting the side of the ridge start to go up next to it so that I'll have some mechanical or dynamic lift? If you think about watching a stream and there's a rock in the stream, and if the water goes up over the top of the rock, that's what the wind does on a big ridge. And so that whole front area where the water is going from, instead of going sideways to now going up over, is upward moving air that you can be in with your glider, which is constantly coming down. So if you're going to extend your flight, you want to be in air that's moving up. I think that night I top landed at 360, and this was the first time I had ever done a camping trip. We call it vol biv, which is French for flying and camping. And taking a tent and sleeping out overnight there was just beautiful. Good times with people, hanging around the campfire. One of the coolest things about going out camping with a bunch of paragliders pilots is that they're good people. They're fun to be around, you know, and they're adventurous and interesting, and they have stories, and they want to share, and they want to show off. And so the community is super friendly and special and sort of sober. Gravity doesn't care if you think you can fly, right? So you better be paying attention to what's real. So people don't tend to drink a lot or get like in their ego mind so strong that they do stupid things. The campsite is so cool. Just the one that I was at, it's just beautiful being out there in the evening light. You're on top of a ridge. You've got a fantastic view. You can see the whole valley below you. You can see the mountains behind you. There's sunsets. It's dark enough that the stars will come out. The next day I took off to go fly with Ajay Kumar, one of the fastest people in the world, one of the best cross-country racers in the world, who happened to be hired by our guide team at Northwest Paragliding School. So I took off from the Vol Biv campsite at golf course and met up with them. We coordinated on the radio and got together, and then we went up along the Dolodars. And so I was able to get, again this year, one flight along these cliffs that are just majestic, and it's just breathtaking. We went this time even further. We go to where the Dalai Lama lives in Dharamshala, but this time we went a little bit further and turned around at the end of that mountain range and then came all the way back. Skipping along the ridges all the way back just was a great opportunity to, use the skills that I've learned, keep up with people I'm flying with and fly as a team. And then we went again to 360, and then I got all the way back to golf course, and I went out over the landing zone and a little further. And so I think that was 148 kilometers, which was like my longest flight ever in terms of distance. After the Volbiv trip, and the longest distance day was to hang out with a friend, Ariel, who wanted to practice being a guide, sort of, and be with me while I went to a new place. And I was like, all right, well, I'm in on that. So we went over the back. Usually you're in the front side of the mountain range. I mean, once you go over the back on your paraglider, that often means you're in a more wild space for a while. So I hadn't gone that direction yet. We took off from launch and went up the spine to above launch to Hanuman. That's the name of the mountain that launch is on. And we just headed straight out over this valley. I glided somehow very well across that valley and came in super high and caught some lift fairly quickly. There I went up it to 15,700 feet over the back, looking at this beautiful valley. And then we came back from that valley back to the front side again. And coming back from going over the back was very exciting because it was so high up and on top of these peaks, and just really feeling like, oh, what a sense of accomplishment. It was nice then on that trip and other times to be thinking about the things that my mentors and teachers had told me, and watching myself do the things that they said, and realizing these are some of the first times I've done them for myself, and I'm just watching myself make a bunch of good decisions is what it felt like. And that was really fun. I mean, one of the things that's so cool about paragliding is that it makes you kind of look at how you're feeling. Because you could have fear that's unrelated to the danger at hand, or you could be ignoring an important danger. And of course, there's all this joy and wonder, but you're also busy at the same time, trying to make everything work. Sometimes you feel scared and like you get roughed up a little bit once in a while by some turbulence, or you're not sure you're going to make it to a place you need to be to land. So you get some of those moments of fear. It's really I feel fully committed and fully alive when I'm flying. It was so amazing on this trip how many sort of firsts or personal bests came across. I mean, there was a new distance at 148 kilometers, a new altitude at 15,700 feet, first time top landing, first time flying in, I guess, a foreign country by myself. This trip really made me feel like paragliding is something I want to spend my time doing.